The conspiracy theorists out there almost always fail to explain how can it be possible that a unique institution, a sole power, can manage the government of the whole entire world. A synarchy, an occult government, a conspiracy behind the governments of the whole world is supposedly trying to unite us in a whole unique regime. How can this be possible? Maybe through esoteric explanation we can have some clues of the way that certain group in the world has that specific motivation to rule the whole world into the same ecumene, the same universal system. Let's find out. Welcome. Hi fellas, how are you doing? This is Adrian. I'm talking to you from Manhattan Beach, Florida. Beautiful place. Manhattan State Park. Here, chilling a little bit and looking at the horizon. I was wondering why the conspiracy community almost never achieves the full explanation of why the secret power in the world, the synarchy, tries to unite us in the same ecumene. The reason behind this secret motivation. And there's a strange concept called the world center, coming from the ancient tradition, that may help to reach a satisfactory conclusion to this matter. The center of the world, the home of the Lord of the world, or the King of the world, in words of René Guénon or other authors of the esoteric community, tries to explain the concept of the place, the solar authority, the spiritual authority of the world irradiates, makes his settlement to make the order in the world as the spirit does in our universe. The true topography of this world, the true cosmography, talks about a stationary flat plane in which we are moving, making circles around the same axis, and in the very center of this plane of existence, there it was always believed traditionally that a king would stand receiving his authority of the spirit itself. This strange concept, the king of the world, in the Middle Ages was called the Prester John kingdom. When the European explorers came to America many centuries ago, where we were looking for that magical kingdom, for that new Jerusalem in the world, the solar city of the Rosicrucians, that was also called Ethiopia or Ukraine. Ukraine meaning literally, from an etymological perspective, the place away from time itself. This concept of the center of the world we can see in myths, as the Dante's Comedy, where the world's paradise, the Eden, was on the top of the sacred magical mountain, in the center of the world, Hyperborea. In that center, on the top of that magical mountain, you could find the world paradise that stands in the very axis of the existence, receiving its energy from the spirit itself. Well, that concept has come to us recently, we could say, but really a few centuries ago, really, with the name Agartha, the sacred kingdom where the king of the world has his very throne. The tradition talks us about a solar dynasty that tries to be the demiurge in the world, tries to be Metatron, tries to be the pontifex, the one power that absorbs the two phases of authority, the sacerdotal, the priestly, and in the other hand, the royal, has the authority and the power, the both sides of the political and religious strength. It is very rare to see in the West this kind of power concentration. It's more common to see that kind of concentrated power in the Eastern world, but even in the Middle Ages, what had been common and also in a little after, the Pope that had hold the Christian authority has to share this power with the Holy Empire. The feminine side of authority, the lunar side, the druidic side, rest with the Pope, and the solar side, the masculine side, rest with the Empire. Notwithstanding the above, the throne of the King of the world holds both kinds of authority, and becomes the pontifex, the concept that the Hebrews call Melchizedek, the king of Salem, the king of justice, but also the king of peace, the one king that holds in his hands the full authority to try to unify us in a single universal existential experience. Let's try to think more about this center concept. It's well known in a traditional way of thinking that the cross symbol that today will obviously be related to Christianism itself. It's made up of two axes crossing in a central point, and this central point tries to signify the place from which all the energy in the world comes from, but also as an X tries to tell us where the central part of the world can be found, and the central authority of both political and spiritual strengths. That's why the Christian chivalry hold the cross as the sacred icon, and you use it in every crusade. The Red Cross particularly has a lot of symbolic power because it's related to the red martial power, referring to the planet Mars, which, as we know, holds the first energy of the sacred zodiac cycle. Also, the swastika as a sacred cross that mimics zodiac itself and tries to express that everything is temporarily moving around an immobile and stationary point that keeps calm and remains stationary while everything is moving around it. Universe itself, in this way of thinking, would be that time labyrinth in which we live, that holographic structure, this matrix in which we find every experience in the world. But notwithstanding that, through our very heart, through our very center, we can connect to that very center of the world. We can connect with that spiritual authority. The same way that through every compass in the world we can locate the north, that same way through our hearts we can connect with that spiritual central energy. That's why this concept usually comes with the name the sacred pole, from which the avatara in Sanskrit the messenger of the Spirit itself comes to the world and make order. The Christmas mythology, in which the old father comes from the North Pole and tries to bring us a love rain or a peaceful age, or at least a peaceful time of the year, comes directly from the Avatara Hindu concept that tries to express the same energy coming from the pole, from the center point, the sacred north of the world, where supposedly this king, this Prester John, has his sacred kingdom. The swastika as a sacred symbol. I'm not trying to be a Nazi. I'm just trying to talk about this old concept and this old symbol that we could also find in Genghis Khan ring. The Genghis Khan ring has also a swastika. Tries to invert this cross, to try to invert also the time itself, with the purpose of going backwards in time itself till we find the beginning of the world. The central point of the world also symbolizes that, the beginning point of the paradise, as we know, is ruled by Aries. That's why the Aryans, the Aryan people, the white people, are subjected to this kind of symbol that tries to summon in the world the age of Aries, the first age of the world, and current cycle, of course. I would not try to go for so long in explaining this concept, but we must understand that from the ancient history, the keepers of this kind of knowledge, the keepers of Holy Land, as they call themselves, in every age of the world, try to bring back this concept of the sacred center, the sacred north, the sacred Jerusalem. In every age, allows us to connect with the heaven, to be a bridge between the heaven and earth, and obtain the kind of spiritual energy and motivation to move according to the music of the demiurge, to true God's will. That's why it's so important for the elite perspective to try to unite everyone into the same ecumeny, as the ecumenic Christian church way of thinking. In the United Nations icon, we can find the same kind of symbol, the sacred cross of St. George and the sacred cross of St. Andrew in the flat earth map, trying to express the same idea. In New York, specifically, and United States, as the new empire of the world, try to be the rose, the flower in the center of the cross, that the Christians would call the Jesus heart, the sacred Jesus heart, or the sacred feminine, the Dharma, sacred Dharma in the center of creation, the Shekinah in Hebrews word, the sacred feminine that the modern people call independence and liberty. It's the sacred fountain from which we try to obtain the sacred waters of the sacred connection with the divine. That's the secret to understand the concept of the sacred authority of the King of the world, and of the realm of the kingdom, the Holy Land, that stands and settles in that very spot, the center of the world, that the Christian cross truly symbolizes, and that the chivalry and the secret knights of every age try to defend. Not only the sacred spot in the center of the world that may move through time, would be associated with different kind of empires in the world. Of course, in the Pisces age, America in the west of the world was destined to hold that kind of power, but since we are trapped in the time kingdom, this power is constantly transferring from one spot to another, from one kingdom to another. Now America is the holy empire of the world, as England was, as Spain was, as Roman was, and as Greece, and Persia, and Babylon, and Egypt, and every kingdom that tries to bring the sacred solar dynasty. The sun that in esoteric terms we can call the demiurge, or even Metatron, using the Hebrew, is the power that tries to hold this center of authority and try order in the world, as in the Lion King myth. Or everything you look, everything that's irradiated by light, that's your realm, Simba. I would tell. Those are Mufasa words. The same idea, the same concept can be found at that way, in that manner. Whenever we trying to find that occult motivation from this synarchy, the secret government trying to rule the world, we should better think about this kind of solar dynasty, this kind of thinking of the idea that this earth, this flat plane of existence can be holy if it has in his center a bridge to heaven, if it's connected with that kind of spiritual, eternal, stationary, calm, central axis of energy, with that beam of light of which we've been talking about lately. So this is what I would like to say to you from now. I hope you enjoyed. Press the like button or subscribe if you like this kind of content. Believe me when I tell you that I'm going to start a very interesting series of videos related to the astro architecture here in America. I want to go to Washington D.C., to New York City, to Philadelphia, to a lot of interesting places where this idea of connecting with the sacred light and try to bring the astrological justice, cosmic powers to the world through architecture and through a specific vocabulary can be perfectly observed. Let's continue in this trip, in this journey, and I hope you have good luck. We'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.